Hello, great ones. Welcome to the Live and Be Great podcast. I'm your host, Latanya Sampson McDonald. I am a life coach and a registered marriage and family therapist associate. And this podcast was created to motivate, educate, and inspire all to live and be great. On today's episode, as promised, we will be talking about each zodiac sign's limiting belief. And in the previous episode, I talked about, how I struggle with certain limiting beliefs and basically some general things that you can do to combat those limiting beliefs whenever they come up. I want to say that for those of you who don't really understand the astrology situation, haven't been a fan of it, feel like it's a gimmick and things of that nature, I would just continue to listen to this podcast, number one. Number two, always do your own research with something that you don't quite understand, because we do have this tendency to shut down, fear, cast out things that we don't understand or that are new to us, right? Or that we feel like maybe too many people are doing this, and maybe it may have been done in an improper way and it just completely turns you off, right? But always seek the answer, seek the truth for yourself. And pay attention to how it feels, right? When it comes to zodiac signs, I had a spiritual advisor that taught me that the first thing you do is you pay attention to the representation of that sign that you already have in your life. Like if you have a Leo in your life, you have a Taurus, or whatever the case may be. If you have any of those people that are under your sign, pay attention to their behaviors and also pay attention to the commonalities that you see over and over and over again, right? Then on top of that, you can read, you can do research and things of that nature. You can study. You can find someone that, number one, when it comes to your own zodiac sign, you can find someone that teaches on it. And if it resonates with you, then that's probably the right person to then continue to explore the different parts of you, right? And also, I loved it because doing this study on me being a Pisces, but not just me being Pisces, going through my whole astrological chart, it was able to teach me things that I didn't even know how to articulate to other people, right? I didn't even know how to articulate it to myself, and I was able to learn myself and give myself grace, and it was just so empowering. Like, okay, this isn't a flaw. I can use this as a gift, or I can use this as, if somebody misunderstands me, I can take this knowledge of my tendencies, my personality traits, how I speak, and how I move in the world, and be able to better either alter, or work on what I need to work on, or explain myself, so this person gets a better understanding of me, right? I love it. And if you do not know how to get your full chart, because you're not just one sign, your sun sign is basically your ego. It's your main personality trait. It rules your main persona, but there's other parts of you. And what you can do is you can go to astro.com. You can click on charts and calculations. Then you'll click on extended chart, and you'll put in your information. You must have your birthplace, your birth time, and of course your birth date and year, right? Your birth date. And what you'll do, you'll put in that information and then you'll click show the chart. Okay? And you'll see this circle, right, with these lines going here and there, and then below you'll see different signs and different placements in different planets. Okay? You'll see your moon sign, you'll see your ascendant sign, you'll see your sun sign, you'll see the different planets, right? You'll also see your true node or your north node and your Chiron placement. And in further podcasts, I will go through each of those for you all, and show you how it connects to your mental health. Because if you have a better understanding of yourself, your healing journey, like, leaps and bounds. Okay? Leaps and bounds. There's no telling. So never cut yourself off from different ways of living a happy life, a healthy life. Okay? See what works for you. If it doesn't, move on to the next thing. Okay? But always, always utilize every resource, even if you're not familiar with that resource. Study it before you turn it down. Okay? So, let's get into it. The first sign we have is Aries. And I'm talking about if Aries is in your sun placement, it could be in your ascendant placement. It can also be in your moon or Venus placement, where you may carry some of these personality traits when you go look at your chart, right? But let's just keep it basic and talk about the sun placements. All right, so Aries. Their limiting belief is that they must be in control at all times and that vulnerability equals weakness. Yeah. Pretty much that is spot on, I believe, based off of the Aries that I do have in my life, but that's who y'all are. Y'all are warriors. You like to win. You like to strive for excellence. You like to be independent and things of that nature. But the need to control everything, right? It becomes a dictatorship and not a relationship when you're in relationship with other people. Okay? And sometimes you do need to allow someone else to take the wheel, especially if they might be more proficient in that area. When it comes to compromising in relationships, you don't want that person to feel as though what they have to say and who they are doesn't matter and doesn't add to the overall love and support that you have for one another. So allow yourself to let go. Allow yourself to be vulnerable and embrace it. Embrace learning from other people. Embrace allowing other people to lead. Yes, you're a natural born leader, but the best leaders were also great followers. Okay? So Aries, work on it, right? Meditate, journal, check in with people to see if they ever felt as though, you may have been a little controlling or critical of them, or maybe you weren't listening to them. Even though your intentions may have been like, okay, I feel like I need to take this leadership position because this person is struggling. That's not always the case. Sometimes people just want you to hear them. You don't have to fix it. And sometimes it is good to learn from others and follow behind and support them as well. It takes more strength, way more strength, for you to be vulnerable and let go than it does to feel like, okay, I'm going to do everything by myself and never show you the deeper sides of me. All right, So let's move on to Taurus. Tauruses are known for being stubborn but grounded. Like they'll stick with the hard work. They don't mind that. But when it comes to difficulty, that's the ironic part. When it comes to difficulty or something, when it comes to difficulty, they have a difficult time with change. It's difficult for them to change, to switch things up because, they do bring stability everywhere that they go. They bring consistency. They really, really do. And it's interesting that they have an issue with change, but they don't have a problem with bullying people or feeling like they can bully people into changing. That's the interesting part, right? That's the battle for them. So Tauruses, you must embrace change. Like, this is an ever-changing world, an ever-changing society, and if you are consistently fighting against it, you're not going to win. You just won't. Of course, there's certain things that, you need to stick with and stay in the fight, but know when it's time to let go and change directions. It's okay. Give yourself grace to do that. Know that you can adapt and you will be able to do it. You will be. Just like you've conquered other things in your life, you can conquer this change, and don't let it throw you off and make you feel as though it's too difficult and it's unattainable. Okay. So, next, let's move on to Gemini. Whew. Talk about the Gemini. So, Geminis have the limiting belief that they have to be the smartest person in the room at all times. You do not. When Geminis take a step back and actually learn, y'all are amazing, amazing students. But sometimes you jump the gun too fast and you don't get the full lesson because you want to hurry up and do it yourself and be able to use it as another thing to show people that you're smart. No one is putting that pressure on you to be the smartest but you. Okay? That is your limiting beliefs that can oftentimes get you in so much trouble. Not just with, yourself, but with your jobs, with your relationships, school, so many different spaces. That can get you in trouble. And I'm sorry, let me go back a little bit and see if I can name some famous people. Aries, I don't think I have an Aries that everybody would know, so I might have to come back to that. But Taurus, Malcolm X was a Taurus, Janet Jackson is a Taurus, Gemini, Tupac, Biggie Smalls, Kanye West, Donald Trump. Ha! Geminis have to prove how smart they are. Okay? So, Brooke Shields is a Gemini as well. So, understand that you're the only one putting that pressure on you. You can learn fast. You're amazing at communication. You can communicate with anybody. You can take any sort of information that you learn and be able to quickly design it into a way that everyone can understand. My Geminis. But, like I said with the Aries, it's okay to not feel as though you need to be the smartest in the room and have everything together and do everything by yourself. No. Okay? It's okay to listen. It's okay to sit back and learn and take that pressure off of yourself to have to know everything. Okay? All right. So, Cancer. Famous cancers. 50 Cent is a cancer. Who else? I can't really name too many famous cancers. It's not coming to me now, but you guys can look it up. That's something I love to do. Is I love to look at people who are celebrities. The reason why I look at celebrities is because their behaviors are showcased in front of everybody. And even though everybody carries a certain persona to, protect their reputation, there's certain things, there's certain telltale signs that they cannot wither away from. They cannot. It's just there, and it's staying there. So I would definitely encourage you to, if you're under the Cancer sign, if you're under any of these signs, to go and look up celebrities that have this sign and look at them speak, look at the way they think, look at their childhoods, because that plays a big role into your personality, okay? And see how it fits with you. So Cancer, they believe that they have to sacrifice themselves for everyone. And Cancer, honestly, you do have this beautiful, nurturing, intuitive type of personality, this power that you have. But oftentimes you can find yourself giving it to people that do not deserve it. You shape and mold yourself into whatever that person feels like they need. And if you continue to do that without ever pouring back into yourself, going through healing, you will get to this point where you don't know who you are. You've been everything for everybody except for yourself. So this is a big one. Okay, y'all are amazing actors because, like I said, you study people and you become what they need you to be. So in reverse, go to therapy. Really, all of y'all, but for sure, this is something that you can work on in therapy or with a life coach, which is the ability to pour into yourself, to figure out who you are, to understand your own stories, and take charge of your emotional well-being. Okay? All right. That's Cancer. Leo. I have a lot of Leos around me. I have a lot of family members that are Leos. And can I name a famous Leo? I cannot. Even though there's probably a whole bunch, right, of famous Leos. Probably lots of famous Leos out there. But the ones that are in my life, they take up most of the space. Leos are ruled by the sun, so those are the ones that grab my attention. I apologize for not knowing any, but that are famous, or Spirit isn't giving it to me right now. So let's talk about the Leo. The Leos, you constantly need outside validation. That's a limiting belief. You don't need it, but you feel like you do. And you could go from someone saying, "Oh, I love you," and then the next day they don't say it, and you're like, "What, you don't love me anymore?" Like, that's how bad it is. And it's not, I would say every last one of these Zodiac personalities, their childhood really, really shapes and mold their personality. So, not trying to give a diagnosis, right? But when combining it with the psychology and trauma that I've seen with the Leos that I know, Leos, they usually have serious emotional abandonment issues, and their parents are usually emotionally unavailable. And they're usually birth to signs that I would say look at that vulnerability as weakness, that don't really know how to nurture and validate themselves. So you have a child that unfortunately has to see you for who you are, and they get affected by your lack of nurturing. So Leos, you're amazing. Any space you come into, you're noticed, you light up the whole entire room, and you can motivate the pants off of anybody. Okay, you can motivate them and give them that encouragement. But that need for that external validation in every space that you're in can cause you to be a little, I would say, insensitive to other people's needs, and constantly putting your needs over other people. Your emotional needs is what I would say. There's a what about me, and not allowing someone else to have the space, even if it's just for a moment. Okay? You can find that person talking about themselves and what they're going through, and you're like, okay, enough about you. Let's talk about me. There's a time and place for that, right? There is. And you probably will see it if you're talking to another Leo that isn't really self-aware of this limiting belief and hasn't worked on themselves. Okay? So this is yet another thing that you can work on, but also use it to your benefit. Apply that validation for yourself to you. Okay? When it comes to, if you're like in a sport, of course, you gotta shine. Or if you trying to get the Oscar, you trying to shine. You gotta shine, right? But when it comes to your relationships and how you feel about yourself, your relationship with yourself, validate you. Okay? Know that you're amazing and work on it through therapy, life coaching, affirmations, however. Okay? Work on it and know that you are worthy, and you don't need anybody else to tell you that. Okay? Okay, Virgos. Oh, Virgos. Beyonce. Kobe Bryant. Virgo. Kiki Palmer. Yeah, there's plenty of Virgos out there at the top of their game. Okay? So, Virgos probably know exactly what I'm going to say. Their limiting belief is that they feel as though they must be perfect in every area. And if they're not perfect, they're not successful. Okay? They put that pressure on themselves. Virgos, you put that pressure on yourself. No one is asking you to do that. Now, let me not... Watch this, okay? You do. Let me say this. You do teach people how to treat you. Okay? And that goes for everyone. You teach people how to treat you. So if you're coming in and you're the perfectionist and you feel as though you got to take charge and everybody is dumb and, okay, I'm going to do that. Yeah, people will take advantage of it. People will put a lot of pressure on you to do things for them because you can do it perfectly and they can't. Because that is what your critiques, being overly critical and judgmental, has the people around you feeling like, okay, I'm walking on eggshells and I know this person is going to say something if I don't get this done perfect, right? When they don't realize this person, this Virgo, is hard on you because the Virgo is hard on themselves. And oftentimes you can this can go so far left. Like, a lot of the Virgos I know, they not attracted to you unless they can fix you. Okay? That could put you in a lot of danger. That can have you in constant drama and getting bored when there's not something to fix or something to argue about or something to put down and be better than. That's not helpful. Okay? If you want to live a life with less resistance from people that you actually care about, give yourself grace. You don't have to be perfect. Understand being perfect is a choice and a pressure that you're putting on yourself to do. You can come out of that. Decide to. Okay? And if you don't have a full understanding, or if it's too difficult and you still struggle with it, support system counts. Therapy, life coaching can help you. Okay? You don't have to know it all. You don't have to figure this all out on your own. Libra. Libra. I believe Kim Kardashian is a Libra. Toni Braxton is a Libra. Will Smith is a Libra. Okay? Libra. You feel as though you have to please everyone and avoid conflict. You must be liked by everyone or you're not a good person. Whew, that gets y'all in some trouble. Get y'all in a lot of trouble. But it's also a lot of pressure, to always be in the middle. And then when you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. Okay? Especially when it's a clear side. If you want to please everyone, be a mediator. Make that your profession. But so you could get that type of energy, for balance out, right? Put it to some good use. But when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to the people you care about, when it comes to your own needs, sometimes a little conflict is good. Like, sometimes it's good for you to show that you have a voice and you can stand up for yourself and you have your own mind. But you are not, I would say, the wrangler of humanity. There is no, let me put everybody in a cage and get them to act this way so it can be fair. No. If you're not getting paid for it, don't do it. Don't do it. It's very, very healthy for you to be able to choose what's right and what's wrong. You do not always have to be the devil's advocate. Take that pressure off of yourself that feels like you have to please everyone, because you don't. Okay? Next, we have Scorpio. Right? Yep, Scorpio is next. And Scorpios, famous Scorpios, whew, they usually have horrible reputations, but P. Diddy is a Scorpio. Kris Jenner is a Scorpio. Our president is a Scorpio, Joe Biden. And who else? It was on the tip of my tongue. For those of you who watch reality television, Jocelyn Hernandez is a Scorpio. Okay, so Scorpios are often black and white thinkers. Like, there's no gray area for them. That is a limiting belief by far. And it can cause you to be in this constant state of fear and paranoia when you don't see the in-between. And this is another, like, how you feel about yourself. Oh, if I do this, I'm bad. If I do this, I'm good. Whatever the case may be. And then you put that onto other people. they can all they can find themselves in a space where they feel like they always have to prove themselves to you, even though they've already proved themselves to you yesterday. You have this constant fear of if I completely trust someone, I'm going to die. Like that, the anxiety is not even or they're going to hurt me. No, y'all literally, the anxiety that comes with that belief system is unbearable. Like your body will go through certain things, certain changes. It can affect your, not just only your mental health, but your physical health with that constant fear of I can't trust anyone, and someday this person that I care about is going to turn on me because they've shown me this, or they have any sort of flaw that somebody who you didn't like and somebody who actually did hurt you, if they have a particular flaw. And I'm not just talking about the obvious flaws, like, oh, this person is in a gang and they put me in danger, and this person is the gang, they're going to put me in danger too. No, it's not like that for you Scorpios. It's like this person didn't have their mother in their life, and this person didn't have their mother in their life. So, boom, I got to write them off. Or this person likes to wear bright colors, and the person that hurt me likes to wear bright colors. So, no, I'm going to avoid them. Okay? It's not helpful. The fear tactics that you put on other people is not helpful. And you're a Scorpio. Scorpios often feel as though they have to attack first. They have to attack first. Don't show any weakness. Don't show any vulnerability. So that I can protect myself. That is going to get you in a lot of trouble, and that's going to have you pushing away the people that really, really care about you and support you. You're going to find yourself alone and just with your family. And feeling like, okay, that's fine, that's all I need, but it's not true. You got to constantly tell yourself that lie, that that's all you need, but that'll never be true. Okay? In this world, you need friends, you need companionship. You just do. And it has to come, oftentimes, it comes from outside of your family. There is no person that just needs their family to survive. Okay? So through therapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy for Scorpios with that thought process, because they do have this protective nature for their families, when to let the guard down and understanding what belief systems aren't serving you, that can be very, very helpful to combat these limiting beliefs. Okay? Next, let's move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Who's the famous Sagittarius? Jay-Z is a famous Sagittarius. Nene Leakes. If you watch, what is it? If you watch reality TV, Nene Leakes. And I can't name too many, but Sagittarius, y'all have horrible reputation when it comes to committing to something. You are part human, part beast. So you want to be free, and any sign of sameness or stability, likeness, you guys like, no, I don't want to. I feel like I'm in chains if I stay in this relationship. If I commit to only one person, or I commit to just one career and things of that nature. Sagittarius, you do have like this warrior spirit. You have this thirst for knowledge that is beautiful. You are adventurous. Okay? You're philosophical. You are not afraid to go above and beyond to find what the truth is. That doesn't fear you. But when it comes to commitment, y'all have to work on that, because you're going to end up hurting the people that you actually care about. Okay? When you can't commit to the relationship, when you can't commit to their needs. If you're like, okay, I love this person, I want them in my life, I need them in my life, commit to yourself. Commit to your well-being. Commit to loving on you. Then you won't feel the need to always change partners and, leave your kids behind, and any sort of stability in a relationship is not a threat to you when you learn how to love yourself and you figure out who you are. Okay? There's a place and time for your powers. When it comes to your career, hey, jump and jump. Learn and learn. You get bored, y'all have the energy to do that. So don't let nobody tell you that. Now, I know there's probably people talking about y'all, why you can't just stick to this one talent. Y'all don't have to do that. Okay? But there is the thing when they talk about master of none, right? Like, what is it? Victory of many, a master of none. I can't remember what that saying is, but understand when you jump a little too fast. Okay, you might jump a little bit too fast and get in your head as if put the pressure on yourself to I should master this right now. You get bored really, really fast. Okay, so it's okay to transform, right? It's okay to go on certain journeys, but make sure you get all of it, all of the knowledge you can possibly get before you move on. And in your relationships, make sure if the good outweighs the bad, commit. Okay? Pay attention to that other person's feelings. Choose your battles wisely. All right? You don't always have to fight against people who want you in their life. Not just for a season, but for a reason. Okay? Next, we have Capricorn. Famous Capricorns. I know some, but it's just not coming to me right. Oh, Tyrese. I'm sorry if I just go straight to my own culture. But that's all that's coming up for me right now, because these people who I pay attention to is because I've had some thoughts about them, or they've been in certain spaces where I've had to talk about them. You have your certain people that when it comes to a celebrity that you tend to gravitate to, whether you like them or you don't. And then there's other people that I probably haven't looked up their sign yet. But Capricorn, Tyrese the singer, Tank the singer. Who else is a Capricorn? Ray J. Do I know any people from other cultures? Y'all, I have to apologize, but I'm gonna do better. And expand. Not to say that I don't pay attention to other cultures, because I do, but I don't often look at their sign. I don't often look at everybody's sign to see what their personality traits are. But when I do, trust it fits. Okay. So, Capricorns, you feel as though, your limiting belief is that you feel as though you only have success when people can see it. So that causes you, in simple terms, to put your work over actual relationships and people that you love. You run from the inner work, right? You run from the emotional work, the healing work, I'm going to be there and hold the space for the people that I care about work. Oftentimes you'll see Capricorns be like, okay, I'm paying for this and this and this. What do you mean I need to stay faithful? What do you mean I need to show up to my kid's basketball game? What do you mean I need to hug my son more? And all these things. Sorry. All of these things. It can be very hurtful, you know? And you are amazing at what you do. You are always willing to put in the hard work, but you're not always willing to put in the hard work when it comes to your family and their emotional needs. Okay? Financial, hey, y'all gonna have that down pack. But that's not all it's about. So, how you get there first is, yes, you gotta work on taking up space when it comes to your emotions and diving into them, healing yourself, right? Go to therapy, go to a life coach. Don't base your whole entire life based on how people see you on the outside. Figure out who you are, period, and let your loved ones see that, okay? And let that be right. Don't try to cover it up with money and work and accolades and achievements that you just want to be able to show people when your house is in disarray. Because at the end of the day, you will end up losing the people that you care about, and none of them are going to be like, hey, well, I'ma stay, unless they're trying to take advantage of you for the money. You don't want to feel like you got to pay everybody off. You shouldn't use that, right? Show up for yourself so that you can show up for other people. Emotionally, spiritually, physically. Show up. Okay. Aquarius, my aliens that are just so smart, but don't want nobody to know how smart they are. Who are famous Aquarius? Back to reality. If you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kenya Moore, Margot Hampton, and Tupac's mom, Afeni Shakur, who was a Black Panther and went on trial, right? And served as her own lawyer, and she didn't have a law degree and got off. Yeah. Innovative, humanitarians, smart as a whip. But y'all don't like nobody to see you, okay? So you can often be ghosts, emotionally unavailable to people, and you'll bottle up your emotions because you feel as though it doesn't matter or no one would care. You stand in the background when it comes to your emotions. You dumb yourself down when it comes to your abilities, just to fit in, just to give the space to someone else that you feel like deserves it over you. And that is not always the case, and it can't be always what you go to in every situation. Because what happens with Aquarius is you bottle up your emotions so much that you end up blowing up out of nowhere. And nobody knows what they did until it's too late. Okay? You end up just going off. Don't allow the fear of people seeing you stop you from showing yourself to them, especially the people that you care about. Because if they don't know the depths of your soul, if they don't know what you cry about at night, what you constantly think about that you lose sleep over, then they don't really know you, and that is dishonest. You can't really help anybody in dishonesty with this mask on that can only last but for so long. Okay? So allow yourself to show up and put yourself in the forefront when it comes to your own emotions and who you are. With all signs, again, this can be done with therapy and life coaching. Okay? Tell yourself you deserve to feel and to let people see that part of you. Last but not least, this episode long, but I had to go through all 12 signs. Pisces. Albert Einstein was a Pisces. Rihanna's a Pisces. Tamar Braxton is a Pisces. Cynthia Bailey is a Pisces. I know more Pisces. Tyler, the Creator, is a Pisces. Who else do we have? I know a bunch because I'm Pisces. Who else? Janae Aiko, I think that's how you say her name. It's a Pisces. Who else? There's more Pisces, but I can't quite put my finger on it just yet. But there's way more. Oh, and Aquarius, Michael Jordan is an Aquarius. I thought he was a Pisces. Like, some people on the cusp of a certain sign go based off of what you came in the world in and at the time, because sometimes it changes. Yeah, based off of February having go 27 days and sometimes having sometimes having 28 days, right? It can waver. So, go to astro.com and type in the actual year and time that you were born and go with that sign as your sun sign. So yeah, Michael Jordan can kind of go with both, right? And sometimes you might also have closer personality traits based off of the year and day. Well, based off of the day that you were born of the month, you can have more traits of the sign that you're closest to than the sign that they identify you as. So that's also a thing. But okay, let's talk about Pisces, my sign. Sensitivity. Sometimes Pisces feel like sensitivity is weakness and they can often lash out when Pisces don't feel like sensitivity is weakness out of nowhere. It's based off of when they do express their emotions, how certain people who aren't in tune with their emotions treat them. They shame them for it, right? And yeah, it hurts, but we are still responsible for allowing people to make us feel as though it is a weakness, and we can't do that, right? This is a power that a lot of people need in their lives to really live a fulfilling life and to actually feel like they're being seen and they're being heard. And our sensitivity can help heal so many people. But first, we need to start with ourselves. We have to start with allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and not feeling as it is a weakness. Because sometimes it doesn't even go to, okay, a Pisces is going to hold stuff in. It goes to, they let it out, and then now they feel ashamed, even though that person may have not done anything to make them feel like they can't show it. They just let me go back in. And that's based off of how I've been treated by certain people I cared about. They was like, oh, you too sensitive, male or female, right? So it's okay to feel things. You have so much wisdom. It is a necessary trait for us to be who we were meant to be in this lifetime, Pisces. Okay? And if you need that validation, that constant validation space for who you are and what you feel and what you deal with, don't just give your empathy to other people. Give it to yourself. Go to therapy. Get a life coach. Okay? All right. So that does it for the limiting beliefs. I hope this was helpful. I definitely want you all to use this in conversation, but not just use it in conversation, I hope this can give you a better understanding, not just of yourself and what you struggle with, but also the people that you care about, especially if, they may be at an age, they may be young, they may be your children, they may be your parents, they may be close friends, they may be exes that, may have left a bad taste in your mouth, okay, about their personality or how you were treated by them. But understand, with all of this, how someone treats you is usually how they treat themselves, okay? And it's always a reason for it. So I want you all to do what you need to do to break free from those limiting beliefs so you can live a fulfilling life. Use it for where it needs to be used, which should be probably in your career or outside of yourself, okay? Do not allow the pressures of society and other people's lack of compassion for themselves spill on to you. Be empowered, okay? Thank you all for listening. And with all of that being said, don't forget to allow yourself to live and be great. The Live and Be Great podcast will be airing every other Friday. If you have truly enjoyed this podcast, thank you for listening. Thank you for giving Live and Be Great a chance. Please feel free to share, like, give a review, subscribe on whichever platform that you're listening to right now, on iTunes or Apple Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, as well as Google Play. The Live and Be Great podcast is strictly crowdfunded, so if you are interested in becoming a supporter, you can click the link in the description, or you can go to liveandbegreat.com and scroll to the bottom and donate to the Live and Be Great podcast today, so I can continue to give you good and motivational content. Thank you all for listening, and don't forget to give yourself permission to live and be great.